Yeah, what's up everybody? Today we've got some Rocket League news for y'all, and it's not just going to be about roster stuff. We've got a team possibly moving into a content house and a team house. We've also got some players leaving rosters, some rumors, and a couple places where you can go and try to find and speculate about some as well. What's up everybody? Lawler here, your inside source for all things Rocket League. We've also got a new addition to the studio. Got some, nope, over here. A cool LED sign that I can like change the colors and stuff to. Maybe. Yeah, look at that. Pretty sweet. So that is new, but we've also got some new things to talk about in the sense of roster news. Basically things that are being added to or in addition to the massive list that already exists. If you guys would like a link to that list, go over to my Twitch channel where I stream every day, but Tuesday and Sunday, and type in !RLCS Rosters. It'll pull up the document for that, and I keep these all up to date on that as well. In this video, we've got a multitude of things to talk about, so let's dive right in. The first one we're going to be talking about is about NRG. As you guys have probably seen in the title of this video, they have announced that they are building a team house or a content house or something to that extent. And they do have an image of it already. It's kind of tough to see, but it actually looks pretty sick. If you look at it, it says Champions Deserve Vacations, Rocket League Vacation Content House coming July 22nd, which is tomorrow, or technically today when this video ends up dropping. So right around the corner. The general NRG Rocket League Beach House is going to be a thing. Where it'll be located, no idea. It does say jokingly, pro tip, Sis snores, if possible select the room furthest away from him. So glad to see they're having a bit of fun with it. And they only tag 4 people in it. They tag Musty is one of the content creators that is going to be going there, along with Justin, Garrett, and Sis. A lot of people are kind of curious, like, what does this mean for Squishy? Squishy lives in Canada. Travel restrictions are a thing, so it is unlikely that he is going to be able to go. I do know from what I've heard, the border does open up to Canada as of August 9th, so maybe things will change in the future. But as of right now, I'm pretty sure due to travel restrictions with the pandemic, Squishy's not able to go. So maybe he will be joining them in the future. But as of right now, I think what's really cool about this is they deem it a content house. This is not a team house. This is not a house that they're going to do to live in or otherwise. It may be in the future, but as of right now, the focus is content. And with the off season, and I'm getting more and more indication that the RLCS season 11 season will start in October. You still have a little bit of time, roughly 2 months or so, for these guys to go live in the house, create a bunch of content, and pump out some really cool things, which NRG has been doing a really good job of. So fingers crossed for this. The house looks pretty sick. There's a garage, and it looks like 2 extra stories on top of that. Although I see that spiral staircase, I don't know if that leads to another place up top, so maybe it's 3 stories, but either way, pretty cool if they're on the beach. Some pretty awesome sights and maybe some awesome content that involves being outside of the house, where we get to know some of the players' personalities and how they interact, which would be really cool. Either way, NRG going above and beyond for their team, which is what you love to see. Up next, talking about some of the rosters. These are all rumors, by the way. There's only one confirmed one that we'll talk about at the very end. But everything coming up right now is going to be rumors, things that are speculation. The first one is going to have to do with top Blokes. We've been wondering who their third is. There's been a multitude of players that we've seen kind of cycle through. And in the most recent Gamers Without Borders, they did try out Chausette, which means it would be Cassio, Archie, and Chausette, which would be an interesting fit. I do like the fact that Chausette has been able to kind of facilitate as well as lock it down, per se, which would give Cassio more of a proactive and active role in the offense, which I think is a really cool idea. Both him and Archie working up front, with Chausette kind of filling in the gaps. Whether that happens or not, I do not know, but I do like this 3-man roster, and I'm curious to see if that's what it ends up developing into. Either way, potential that Chausette goes to top Blokes, and I think this one seems pretty likely, but whether it happens or not, we will not know until it gets solidified. Alongside other rosters in the Gamers Without Borders talks, there is ViolentPanda, Oli, and Though. Obviously, all 3 being from the same region also makes some cohesion there, but whether this team will stick together after performances and stuff, we do not know. But at the same time, there's been some craziness, obviously, with Dignitas confirming that ViolentPanda and Verge are now off the roster, whether they will work to find a new team or what it may be. ViolentPanda obviously teases in his Twitter bio, captain of the question mark So who the heck knows what that's going to be. Either way, there is going to be some massive changes in this offseason. Even more so, Liquipedia even tweeted out that all of the teams that went to the World Championship in Season 8 have made a roster change. Not a single original roster from the last World Championship is still the same. That's pretty crazy if you think about it. Up next for rumors, we've got the possibility that the former Team Queso squad, even though they are currently under contract with Team Queso, they have hinted numerous times that they are no longer going to be staying with Team Queso, might possibly be getting picked up by Giants Gaming. Vodafone Giants, obviously a team that fell apart after being consistently top 3, top 4, is no more, and probably looking to stay in the scene. And with a team that has a ton of potential in Team Queso, I'm sure the Giants would be happy with that. Team Queso situation, though, with Atomic, VK, Sale, and Demensa is wild, so we'll see if they stick together or not in the future. But ultimately, as of right now, they have confirmed that they will be staying together for Season 11. Whether they're under the Team Queso banner, Giants, or something completely different, we'll find out when the rumors settle. Up next on the rumor page, the duo of apparently Jack and Jorias are apparently trying out with Scrubkilla. A lot of people on the subreddit and everything else have been asking what's happening with Scrub, what's going on with Scrub. Obviously, since being off of Vitality, has gone through many different iterations in his career, whether it be with Singularity or Guild or whoever else, has still yet to find kind of a solidified roster that he can build and grow with, even with Mouse and everything, which is funny. A little bit of a nod. If you guys haven't seen the DreamHack Boost Cup, you can go to the Smash.gg sign-up page and filter through those rosters. They're making a better Mouse Sports or Mouse Sports 2.0. I think it's Archie, Scrub, and Speed, I think is what it is, or Arju and Speed, or something to that extent. I don't know what it is, but it looks pretty wild. I doubt that's going to be a physical team, but there is some that where you have to kind of weed through the BS. But primarily, if you guys want to go check out, it's a good place to see like some of these rosters, especially if they're consistent, trialing players in a real environment. So make sure you guys go check out those to find some. You can find some of these rosters that are trying out again and seem to be pretty happy with the results. Case in point, obviously Top Blokes winning their situation, but again, you never know until it's solidified. But Dignitas trying out Scrubkilla potentially could be interesting. Last but certainly not least, this region tends to make more changes than I know what to do with. This is a region that likes to, whenever things seem like they're going well, they'd stop. And this one comes to a surprise. Obviously, with True Neutral going over to North America, there has been kind of the new Kings of the Mountain, whether it be Furia or someone else like Array steps up. We don't know, but Furia, despite being a really, really solid team, says goodbye to one of their star players in Tander, which is kind of surprising. They say they're grateful for his efforts, dedication, all the effort put into the team during the time spent together, and they wish him success. I'm not really sure for this one because Tander and the rest of the crew on Furia recently got picked up, and after getting rid of L. Evans, end up moving into this team house facility, to my knowledge, and starts performing relatively well, like a top 2, top 3 in the region. And now you're getting rid of a core member. So not exactly sure the reasoning for this. Again, we're not going to know like the business side or the back end of maybe there's some team chemistry issues. Maybe he's going somewhere else. Ultimately, we don't know. But I do know that South America does change their rosters quite a bit. At one point, I think one of their teams changed names like 5 or 6 times over the course of a few months. It's pretty crazy. So I don't know what's going on with Tander. I don't know what's going on with Furia. Maybe there's a potential up-and-comer or someone else that they want to snake from another team. Either way, trying to do what they can before Season 11 to make sure they have the best results possible. Tander, a very talented player. I'm sure he'll find a new home relatively soon. So curious to see on how this one plays out. But as of right now, this one comes as a pretty big shock. Not necessarily like big news, but there's a lot of people that have been wondering about the Rocket League Esports Shop, when other teams are going to get some updates, when certain organizations are going to have theirs in there. And there is a couple that I do know that are coming that are really cool. And the concept of how they came to be, I'll talk about that in the future. But finally, Oxygen Esports, which was a team in Europe for quite a while before they went and picked up a North American team, are finally in the North American side of the shop. Whether that means that there is an update coming or not, I do not know. But at least Oxygen is now over in NA. And Europe looking pretty lacking with only 7 teams. So hopefully after all the dust settles and we get into the next season, which I think would be the best for scheduling, as soon as we have teams and rosters lock in for Season 11, that is when you put in the update to make sure that all the teams have representation going into the next season. Hopefully that's the timeline and that's the way it'll work. Whether it happens or not, I do not know, but I hope to reiterate that most likely you can assume that the RLCS 11 season will start in October. That's going to do it for today's Rocket League news. If you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, as always, you know to drop those in the comments down below. We got some fun stuff coming up this week about brand building, as well as a tournament that we definitely need to do some coverage on because there's some really interesting results. Even though not against the best competition, still a pretty good sign for some teams, but ultimately that stuff will be coming in the near future. And if you don't want to miss it, the best thing you guys can do is hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Trying to hit 50,000 by the end of the year, and we're slowly crawling there, so greatly appreciate the love and support. As always, if you enjoy the content, give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.